I literally doubled my paycheck just by pivoting industries. Currently, I'm in finance, but the prior industry was something that I was very passionate about. Most of you know my story, but it all started back whenever I was in high school. Back then, I took a course within a career center called culinary arts. It was taught by the original OG, Chef Rodney. He's someone I look up to and admire by his motivation and his skill set. Fortunate enough, that spilled over into what I was wanting to do long term. And because he had his own restaurants, he inspired me to pursue that same dream. So as of my graduation of high school was approaching, I started to think about career opportunities. And you guessed it, culinary arts. So as I was applying for a lot of schools, there wasn't a lot of options out there. But then there was one day where I got accepted into one of my dream universities. After I got accepted, day one arrived, and then I started going through school. After I received my associate's degree, my bachelor's degree, then came graduation. And now in this video, I'm gonna show you how doing what you love is actually dangerous advice. But I'm not gonna spoil it this early, so let's go ahead and dig in. The first way is passion does not equal your paycheck. And just because you love something does not mean that it can sustain you financially. And the thing is that's okay. Just like I told you I went to one of my dream culinary arts school, there was one time where I was in class. The class was called Fundamentals of Culinary Arts. The class that we were in, they were teaching us how to trim proteins and also slice and dice certain vegetables. I peeked over at the other station and seen one of my classmates doing the same thing. She leaned over silently and said this: "Josh, to be honest, I'm not going here to cook for other people. I like cooking for myself. I'd never want to work in a restaurant." And as I still had my goals, I started slicing my vegetables slowly. And then, as I thought to myself, what does this mean for me? And so, since I didn't have anyone advising me throughout school, I just thought the normal trajectory was to go through and work as a chef. And then that means just working at different restaurants, working my way up and learning all the skills that I can. But then when we fast forward to after graduating college, there was a point in time where I realized that that was not it. Because in this video above, I talked about doing an alignment audit. And at that point of time, that's what I did. But if you want the breakdown of how to do that, then I encourage you to check out the video. But after I sat down and did that alignment audit, I thought to myself that I need to make a career pivot. And so at that point in time, I made a decision to go to grad school, study an MBA in finance, and then pivot industries. So sit down, think about what you want to do, and then make that change. The second reason that doing what you love is dangerous advice is that it keeps you stuck and it helps someone else win. Because even though you're doing something that you're passionate about, you're earning the skills that you need, you are helping someone else win. And that someone else are the investors and the business owner. Now, I will say this, I think it's necessary to get the skills that you need only temporarily. But in this context, I'm talking about doing something full-time every single day. After I graduated my undergraduate degree, I was working in restaurants. I spent about half the time working in the back of the house doing my chef things. And then the second half, I was working in the front of the house where I was serving, bartending, and also within manager and training programs. But after working around 60 to 80 hours a week, I was really starting to get burnt out. And then at the end of the night, we would report on the revenue, the payroll, and then also certain notes that happened throughout the night. And once we sent that off, that went directly to the restaurant owner. And even though I was doing something passionate about and earning the necessary skills, I was helping the owner win more. And since at that time, I wanted to open up a restaurant so bad, it was keeping me stuck because it made me realize that I was taking away time from me building something on my own and working for someone else. And let me highlight this again. I'm not saying that you shouldn't earn the skills in the business that you want to run. All I'm saying is don't stay there forever. And then that gives you a reason to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because if you want to continuously have these wealth plays, then I encourage you to do so. And now let's wrap this up with the last reason. The last reason that doing something that you love is dangerous advice is because passion blinds you. Earlier in this video, we did talk about how your income matters and about being passionate keeps you stuck. But one of the main drivers of how passion blinds you is that it puts you in a toxic work environment. And it's toxic because most people that are doing the work are underpaid, they have a lot of stuff going on at home, and oftentimes doing something that you're passionate about and helping people, it comes at the sacrifice of your own well-being. And that's why earlier in this video, I stated that you should check out the video above and then focus in and doing an alignment audit. And you know that I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. And that's why I talk about everything from my personal experience as well as people I know personal experience. But now that I rewind and remember, my first real chef job while being in culinary arts school was very toxic. I would say I learned how to work under pressure, deal with multiple personalities, be on my feet for 12 hours plus a day, and learn how to cost and plan events. But it came at the cost of the environment. If you all have ever watched the show The Bear, most of that stuff is not exaggerated. That is real life. Everything from the yelling, the cursing, and the throwing of the pans is real. And then also in the restaurant industry, it comes at the cost of not being able to take off your birthdays, nights, and weekends. And then at that point, since I enjoyed my personal time and effort, that was really starting to burn me out and created a toxic work environment because I would start to resent everyone in there. And then also getting yelled at by my chef and then getting plates thrown back at me. That was starting to get to me. And that all came because I was passionate about cooking. Because I invested so much money into my education, so much time into the industry, and so much effort to getting the job in the first place, I felt so stuck. And then also while feeling stuck, I was blinded by my own environment. So this is the same advice as before. Pivot industries and find something that you can do passionate on the side. Because after learning these 3 ways that doing something you love is dangerous advice, you now have no excuse. But I hope that this has really opened your eyes. But I will say this, if you are doing something that you're passionate about and you genuinely love it and you are happy, then good for you. I do want to say that that puts you in the 3% of most people that do not feel the same way that you do. That is a good thing. You are a rare breed. But the purpose of this video is I'm covering the 97% of people that are doing something that they're passionate about and what they struggle with. But thanks for watching. I hope you take care, and I'll see you in the next one.